In the vast, arid expanses of the New Mexico desert, under the relentless gaze of the July sun, a mystery unfolded in 1947 that would captivate the world for decades to come. This is the story of the Roswell UFO crash, an event shrouded in secrecy, conspiracy, and intrigue. It began with a rancher's discovery of strange debris scattered across his land, debris unlike anything known to mankind. What followed would challenge our understanding of the universe and spark a controversy that endures to this day. The saga of the Roswell incident unfolded on the evening of July 2, 1947, when several eyewitnesses observed a disc-shaped object piercing through the New Mexico desert sky amidst a storm. The following morning, Mac Brazel, a local ranch foreman, stumbled upon an expansive debris field strewn with fragments of a strange metallic material, remarkably light yet incredibly durable. While herding sheep approximately 75 miles north of Roswell, Brazel collected some of the debris and presented it to Sheriff George Wilcox, who in turn alerted Colonel William Blanchard at Roswell Army Airfield. A press release from Blanchard's office soon declared, with a tone of triumphant discovery, that the military had secured a flying disc thanks to the cooperation of local ranchers and law enforcement. However, this narrative was quickly overturned by Major Jesse Marcel, the intelligence officer who inspected the debris, attributing it instead to a spy balloon from the top-secret Project Mogul. This explanation was later revealed to be a deliberate deception, as confirmed by a 1994 Air Force inquiry, which argued the falsehood was necessary to obscure Project Mogul's true aim: detecting Soviet nuclear tests using microphones attached to high-altitude balloons. The inquiry also dismissed reports of alien bodies at the crash site as misidentified parachute test dummies. Yet, those directly involved in the retrieval operations would later challenge this account, describing the recovered bodies as extraterrestrial biological entities with distinctive humanoid features.
It looked more like the metal looked more like stainless steel that had been heated. It was blue, kind of a bluish tint to it. Now, what was odd about it, it looked like around the curved part in the front of the canoe, there was some designs or something. It kind of reminded me of maybe some Egyptian signs or whatever. What was odd about it, there was an MP standing beside each one of the vehicles in the back, standing there. And the doors were open. Naturally, I was curious, and I just happened to look in. And that's when I saw some debris it looked like parts of a plane or something that they hadn't had a crash. Because I've seen them do this a lot of times, bring in pieces in the old ambulances. It was in those that it was a crash. It wasn't an airplane, but they didn't know what it was at that time. Yeah, but she said we have three bodies. There was three bodies. She said two of them were very mutilated. One looked like it might have walked out, or that it, might have lived a little while. And she explained they were like 3.5 feet to 4 feet tall. The heads were somewhat larger than a human heads. The hands were long, no thumbs. It was just the long, very delicate fingers at the end of on the underside at the tip of each finger was a pad-like, maybe a little pad, but it looked like the skin had maybe a little suction, like the little suction cups on those. On the, no fingernails on the hands. The only remark that she ever made was that they definitely weren't humans as we know humans, but they could be from another planet. Or the doctors were explaining this, that they couldn't be from our planet. They had to be an alien, or had to be something else, but not in our planet. And she said it was the most I've never been so horrified in my life. I've never seen anything so gruesome in my life. I've never smelt anything that smelt worse in my life. Very emotional. She would have to stop and drink water every once in a while. And also, she never touched a meal, but all the time we were talking in an hour and a half that we were there, she never touched a meal. I never did see her after that. And then I called out the next day to see how she was feeling, see what, and they told me that she wasn't available. Then I wouldn't be available that day. I called the next day, and they told me that she'd been transferred. And it was rather odd because she'd only been at the base less than 3 months. That was her on commission less than 3 months, and that was her first assignment. So it was rather odd that she would be transferred out, within 3 months. But I know it was at least 2 weeks. I got a letter addressed to me at Glendivis at the Ballard Funeral Home. She didn't sign. It didn't have any returned address or anything on it. But inside of the letter, it was just a note. She said, "I don't have time to write. I will write later." Probably a month after that, then I got the letter that I had mailed to her. It was returned. It was stamped return. And also it's on in red printing it said deceased. And that's the last time I ever heard anything about it. And I was talking to one of the nurses and I said, whatever happened to the lieutenant? And she said, well, the rumor is that we heard that she was killed with 5 other nurses in a training mission in a plane crash.
Confessions from an Army nurse who allegedly participated in an autopsy of these beings described them as having delicate skeletal strictures. Amplifying the controversy, the Air Force's narrative is riddled with inconsistencies and contradicted by numerous eyewitness accounts, fueling ongoing speculation among UFO researchers. The region's history of UFO sightings, particularly post the first atomic bomb test near Roswell, and its proximity to key military and research facilities, including Los Alamos, further intensifies the mystery. Adding to the intrigue, Jesse Marcel Jr. recounted seeing materials his father brought home from the crash site, noting inscriptions reminiscent of Egyptian hieroglyphs and geometric patterns. This coincides suspiciously with the groundbreaking invention of the transistor by Bell Labs in December 1947, a mere 6 months after the alleged UFO recovery. This pivotal technological leap, which laid the foundations for the modern semiconductor industry and the digital age, raises speculative eyebrows. Could it be a mere coincidence? Or is it plausible that this invention was inspired by reverse engineering alien technology? As we gaze up at the night sky, the stars twinkling like the eyes of the universe, we are reminded that the Roswell incident is more than just a moment in history. It is a beacon, inviting us to question, to explore, and to imagine. It challenges us to consider not just what happened on that fateful day in 1947, but what it means to seek answers in a world where the truth is often shrouded in shadows. As the sun sets over the plains of New Mexico, the shadows stretch long over Roswell, a place forever etched into the annals of mystery and intrigue. The events of 1947, whether a tale of extraterrestrial visitation or a classified military experiment, have sparked a debate that has endured for generations. The crash at Roswell serves as a poignant reminder of our place in the vast cosmos and of the unquenchable human thirst for knowledge beyond the confines of our understanding. The truth, as they say, is out there, and perhaps one day, the mysteries of Roswell will lead us to it.